It was a quiet night in Los Angeles when Lesley-Ann-Warren found herself standing alone on her balcony, the city lights shimmering beneath her like a million tiny stars. In her hand, an old photograph, her younger self in costume, smiling wide, full of dreams and innocence. The image felt distant now, like a life lived by someone else. Few people knew that behind her enchanting smile and graceful poise, there had been moments of deep doubt, heartbreak, and quiet reinvention. To the world, she was the eternal ingénue, the dazzling starlet who had danced and sung her way into Hollywood history. But in her private moments, Lesley often wondered what price she had paid for that light. Her story began on August 16, 1946, in New York City, born into a family that thrived on creativity. Her father, William Warren, worked as a real estate agent but carried a quiet appreciation for the arts, while her mother, Margot, was a singer who filled their home with music. It was Margot's voice that first stirred something inside young Lesley, a sense of rhythm, emotion, and yearning. She was a shy girl, graceful yet reserved, often retreating into imagination. By the time she was 6, she was dancing, and by her teens she was studying at the School of American Ballet. Her instructors noticed her natural elegance, but also the intensity behind her eyes. Even then, Lesley seemed destined for something beyond the stage, a screen, a story, a legacy. At just 17, she auditioned for the Actors Studio in New York, one of the youngest ever accepted. Under the guidance of Lee Strasberg, she learned to channel her emotions into art, to transform vulnerability into strength. But Hollywood wasn't waiting with open arms. Her first few years were filled with near misses and quiet rejections. She was told she was too sensitive and too delicate, too different. Yet that difference would one day make her unforgettable. Her first major break came when she was cast as Cinderella in the 1965 television musical. Millions watched as this fresh-faced beauty in a shimmering gown transformed before their eyes. That night, a star was born, not just for her talent but for her sincerity. Fame came quickly, but so did its challenges. The industry wanted to mold her, to make her glamorous, compliant, marketable. But Lesley was never content to be just another pretty face. She wanted to act, to feel, to matter. As the 1970s unfolded, she appeared in both film and television, proving her versatility time and again. From the sultry charm of Victor Victoria to her captivating presence in Night in Heaven, she could shift from innocence to allure with breathtaking ease. Yet success came with whispers, rumors of being difficult, of wanting too much control. In truth, she only wanted respect, something not easily given to women in her era. In her private life, Lesley's heart was as open as her artistry. She married producer John Peters in 1967, at a time when both were still finding themselves in the chaotic orbit of Hollywood. Their relationship was passionate, creative, and often turbulent. The pressures of fame and ambition strained their bond, and though they shared a son, the marriage ended in 1977. Later, she found love again with actor and director Ronald Taft, a man whose calm nature balanced her intensity. But even as she smiled for cameras and posed beside her partners, she carried a quiet loneliness, an awareness that fame could give you everything but stability. As the years passed, Lesley refused to fade into nostalgia. She reinvented herself, taking daring roles that challenged expectations. Her turn as the sexy yet tragic Norma Cassidy in Victor Victoria earned her an Academy Award nomination and reintroduced her to a new generation of fans. She became known for her ability to portray women who were at once vulnerable and powerful, complex and unforgettable. But while the applause echoed loudly, the quiet after each performance often brought back the same question: had she been seen for who she truly was, or only for the image Hollywood wanted? The 1980s and 1990s brought both triumph and struggle. She appeared in acclaimed projects, yet faced periods of silence when scripts stopped arriving and younger actresses took center stage. Those were the moments that tested her most. Friends recall her retreating from the public eye, focusing on her family, and reflecting on what mattered beyond fame. She turned to painting, to music, to simple joys that once seemed lost. And when she returned to the screen, older, wiser, still radiant, audiences saw not the ingénue they remembered, but a woman who had survived the storm and found peace within it. Lesley's resilience became her quiet legacy. She appeared in films like Clue and television shows that showcased her timeless appeal, never chasing trends, only truth. Off-screen, she became a mentor to younger performers, reminding them that Hollywood is not a race, but a test of endurance. Her career spanned decades, weathering the ever-changing tides of the entertainment world. Through heartbreak and reinvention, she remained elegant, strong, and deeply human. Now in her later years, the photographs of Lesley-Ann-Warren, those private, unseen moments, speak volumes. Some capture her laughter, unguarded and pure. Others show her lost in thought, her expression soft yet knowing. Each picture tells a different chapter of a life spent chasing not perfection, but authenticity. When she looks back at her reflection today, she no longer sees the fragile young dancer or the uncertain starlet. She sees a survivor, a dreamer, a woman who faced the spotlight and still found her own light within it, and perhaps that's what makes her story so moving. Lesley-Ann-Warren's life is not defined by the roles she played, but by the courage it took to keep playing them. Through heartbreak, through change, through time. Her beauty remains, not in her youth but in her truth, the same truth that shone in her very first performance and continues, to inspire generations who dare to dream in a world that so often tells them to stop. So the next time you see one of her photos, the sparkle in her eyes, the poise in her smile, remember the woman behind it. Remember that her story was never just about fame, but about finding grace in both triumph and loss. If Lesley-Ann-Warren's journey touched you, take a moment to honor her resilience. Like, comment, and subscribe to keep her story and her legacy alive for generations to come.